one of the ways at American Express that we're differentiating our customer service is by using a blend of both automation and human assistance to deliver the best possible experience for our card members.
Welcome to the Tearsheet Podcast. I'm Zack Miller. Stephanie Schultz is the VP and Head of Emerging Strategic Partnerships at American Express. In that position, she designs, plans, and executes partnerships focused around emerging payments and new commerce experiences. Stephanie joins us on the podcast to discuss the role the Digital Labs team plays at American Express. We drill down to explore the digital payment and emerging technology trends she's seeing that are influencing consumer behaviors. Lastly, we chat about what American Express is doing with bots and how the company sees the future of human-machine interaction. Stephanie Schultz is my guest today on the Tearsheet Podcast. Before we continue with our program, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Amexs, for supporting Tearsheet's work. Amexs is the leading data platform for banks, credit unions, and fintechs, enabling its clients and partners to easily collect, enhance, analyze, present, and act on financial data.
I'm Stephanie Schultz, VP and Head of Emerging Strategic Partnerships at American Express, where I've been for the last 10 years. And I started at Amex after working for a small consulting firm and have held a range of different positions at Amex across our merchant and consumer businesses, all primarily focused on driving digital innovation for the company and helping to increase engagement with our customers. In my current position, I lead a team that designs, plans, and executes partnerships with different technology companies. And we're really focused on partnerships in two primary areas. So the first is around emerging payments. And we're thinking about new commerce experiences for customers across key digital platforms, such as peer-to-peer payment platforms, and testing into new payment form factors like QR codes and wearables. And the second area is really around servicing modernization. So thinking about new ways to serve our customers across digital channels like messaging apps and digital voice assistants.
Interesting. So you're part of the American Express Digital Labs team. Can you tell me how that group came together and I guess the genesis story behind it?
Sure. So as you know, we are living in an increasingly digital and connected world. And this has not only changed consumer behaviors and needs, but it's also had a direct impact on how consumers choose to make payments and engage with brands. So the Amex Digital Labs team was established about 2 years ago. And our primary reason for being is to help make American Express a more essential part of our customers' digital lives. We're really this innovation hub within the company that is designed to be able to incubate ideas, test new capabilities, learn and grow in ways that will help expand our business around the world. And we're really focused on developing the next generation of digital payments, servicing, and membership experiences for our customers. As the payments landscape is really evolving quickly, we really think this innovative and external mindset is critical to remain competitive in our industry.
91% of mobile banking users prefer using their app over going to a physical bank branch. But it's no longer enough just to offer an app. Customers demand a really good experience. That's where MX comes in. Its new mobile app, Helios, helps banks and credit unions stand out in today's world of mobile banking, going beyond simple transactions and account management. Does your mobile app get thousands of 5-star reviews? Does it increase your engagement and lead to higher brand loyalty and ROI? Check out Helios by MX at MX, that's the letters M and X.com. That makes total sense. So you sit at this like sort of intersection between consumer behavior and new technology. Given that viewpoint, what do you see in terms of new digital payment trends and emerging technologies on the radar that addresses consumer behaviors and needs?
Sure. So there are 3 key trends that I'd highlight that we're really watching right now. The first is mobile payments keep gaining momentum around the world. And in many instances, mobile has just become the preferred means for consumers to make transactions because it's just faster and more frictionless. And standardization and modernization of payments infrastructure is also really helping to catalyze growth in this space. So we've partnered globally with top mobile wallets like Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and we're also experimenting with some of our own mobile payment solutions. For instance, we recently launched a QR payments capability in the Amex mobile app for our card members in Singapore. The second trend I'd highlight is we're seeing continued innovation across new payment form factors. So payments are being injected into a variety of new technologies, from smartwatches to IoT devices and more. We're exploring how this can help further enhance the customer experience to help improve speed, ease, and seamlessness of payments. To give you an example here, last year at the US Open Tennis, we actually introduced a wearable payment device. It was called the Amex band, and the band was a contactless payment wristband that allowed eligible card members to be able to pay for purchases and unlock unique benefits and offers on site, all through the tap of a wrist. The last trend I'd highlight is the digitization of customer service. So customers are just expecting better, faster answers, and they also want to engage with us across a wider breadth of channels, depending on what channel is most convenient for them at the time. We've also seen how improvements in AI and machine learning technologies are helping brands deliver more efficient and personalized services to customers across more of these platforms and devices. So we're trying to take advantage of that shift and have started to insert our services into some of these relevant platforms. For example, we developed a skill on Amazon Alexa that allows us to give our card members quick access to key information through simple voice commands while going about their daily lives. So for example, this morning, I actually had used my Alexa to check my latest account balance while I was in the middle of eating my breakfast this morning.
I hope I'm talking to the real you, Stephanie, and not the Alexa version. Given those trends on the customer side and some of those use cases that you described, like what innovations and platforms are most interesting to American Express right now? Like what are you focused on in you and your group?
Sure. So our primary focus is really all about providing the world's best customer experience every day, which means meeting our card members where they are and on the devices and platforms where they're already spending time. So one area that has become increasingly important to consumers is peer-to-peer payments. And last year, we actually announced a new strategic partnership with PayPal. As you're probably very aware, PayPal and Venmo are really leading peer-to-peer payment apps in the US and are particularly relevant for our users and among millennials and Gen Z. And so through our partnership, we are excited to be working with PayPal and Venmo to develop a deep mobile integration that will live in the Amex mobile app and offer some new delightful automated features that enhance users' peer-to-peer payments experiences. And we'll be revealing a little bit more about that soon. Another area that I'd highlight that's been really interesting for us is seeing how mobile messaging and chat apps have emerged as this really important communication channel for consumers to engage with brands. So if you look at usage data around where people spend most of their time on mobile devices, it's really highly concentrated in a handful of apps. And the growing trend is these apps are messaging apps. So at Amex, we've been testing different messaging experiences to make it easier for our card members to contact us and get the service they need through their channels of choice. We're doing this in a variety of different ways through our own proprietary mobile app with some robust messaging capabilities and features. And we've also developed experiences for our customers to be able to contact us across top messaging platforms, like within the Messages app for iOS and also Facebook Messenger.
I was at a fintech networking event last night, and one of the icebreakers that we did was, if you were on a desert island, you had to delete all the apps on your phone, save 3 of them. Which ones would you leave on the phone? And like everybody said the messaging app. So I totally agree in that respect.
Yeah, I like to, there's actually a place you can go in your settings and see which apps you spend the most time in. So I've looked at that on occasion, and like messaging and my work email are always in the top two.
Right, hours and days, yeah.
Yep.
So I want to transition conversation to a subject that sort of prompted this interview, and that's some of the work you guys are doing with bots, with chatbots specifically. Can you talk, before we get into some of the work you've done, but like sort of how Amex and you think about the role of humans versus bots?
Sure. So earlier I touched a little bit on how some advancements in automation are really helping to improve customer service interactions for the better. But it's really not all about automation. One of the ways at American Express that we're differentiating our customer service is by using a blend of both automation and human assistance to deliver the best possible experience for our card members. So we really think that the human touch is essential, especially when you're solving more complex issues. So if you imagine a card member is reaching out to make a hotel reservation and it's for a special occasion, maybe it's their honeymoon, and the card member wants the hotel to plan something unique to make it a particularly memorable experience, like ensuring they have a room with the best possible views or helping to organize a day for the couple at the spa. Human operators are going to be essential to ensuring that those type of complex and nuanced requests are really handled with the utmost of care. One analogy I like to use is think about your experience of drinking a really fine glass of wine. Do you care if the grapes were harvested by a human or a machine? Probably not. All that matters is the taste and that it tastes great. So I think about customer service in the same way. It's really not about humans versus bots. It's humans and bots, and how you combine that efficiency of automation with the human touch to make sure you're delivering personalized, fast, and high touch service. So I think if we nail that, then customers will be happy.
I totally agree. Like as long as the customer gets the answers that he or she needs in an experience that didn't, that was positive, I think it doesn't matter who delivers at the end of the day. So I know American Express has recently acquired other digital platforms like Messi, which was a virtual assistant in the travel industry, if I remember correctly. How are you planning on integrating these new acquisitions into the card member experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our journey with Messi is a really great example of how we're partnering with all different types of companies, from smaller startups to the big tech giants. And when we first began working with Messi, actually, we had a strategic investment and worked together on a small pilot to test and learn around some of their new digital travel assistant capabilities. And within Digital Labs, we really aim to test and learn quickly and run these sorts of pilots to be able to better evaluate customer response and then help determine a path for longer term partnerships. So following the success of the pilot that we ran with Messi, we decided to further enhance our relationship through the acquisition. And since the acquisition, we've begun to roll out some enhanced mobile concierge features from the pilot into the Amex mobile app for our US Platinum card members, and will continue to be doing so over the next few months. So these card members will be able to access not only basic account servicing needs through this messaging interface, but they'll also be able to make travel arrangements through an asynchronous messaging experience. So they'll be able to find and book flights, hotels, dining, and more. And not only are you going to be able to book everything through this app, but you'll be able to engage with us on the go and at the pace that's most convenient for you. Like, maybe you're starting your travel booking process right before you hop on the subway, and then later again when you're done with your workday. So I think it's really bringing our expertise in travel and concierge experiences to life in a mobile first digital channel.
I look forward to seeing that. You've talked a lot about whether it's an investment or a partnership, but your work across the industry with other companies, what are some of the factors you look for in a successful partnership?
Sure. So I believe when selecting strategic partners, first and foremost, it's really critical that you find a partner where your values and goals are complementary and aligned with each other. So for us, that's working with partners that are as equally obsessed with the customer experience as we are. For any partner, from the digital giants like Amazon and Apple, or smaller startups like Messi and Resi, that mission of creating the best digital customer experience is really always the North Star. And then we use the strength and assets of both parties to really deliver on that shared goal. Also, I think it's important to recognize with partnerships, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So our long-standing partnerships exist really because of this approach. By creating a good, strong foundation, we're able to then work well together, knowing that we can rely on each other and face the challenges. Partnerships are complex, so you need to be able to navigate that, improve, and iterate along the way.
So, Stephanie, we have time for one last question. Given your vantage point, everything you've seen across the industry, I'm curious, what excites you most about the future of digital payments?
Well, there's a lot that excites me about the future of digital payments, but if I had to pick one thing, it'd probably be just about how the space is evolving so rapidly across all verticals. For instance, in 5 to 10 years, the way we pay could be completely different. And I'm really excited to see the adoption of some of these emerging technologies and how this can help unlock better customer experiences. One example to consider is in the retail space. And imagine a world where there's the complete removal of the traditional checkout experience. Right beside our Manhattan headquarters, actually, Amazon just opened an Amazon Go store. So it's a cashierless store that really helps to just ease the grocery shopping experience for consumers and completely eliminates the checkout line wait time. So you simply just scan a QR code to enter, you take what you want off the shelves and walk out. It's that simple. With all this continued innovation, though, I think it's important to note that there will still remain many different ways to pay. And I think the industry is still going to be fragmented for some time. So while you may have some customers that adapt quickly to changes and jump on that Amazon Go store concept, others might still prefer to use more traditional means of shopping and paying, like being able to swipe a card or use cash. So while I'm really excited about the potential that some of these new experiences will unlock, I think we'll just need to ensure we're still meeting a variety of customer needs and preferences across a pretty wide spectrum.
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting time in the evolution of digital payments. Stephanie, thank you for joining us on the Tearsheet Podcast today.
Thanks for having me.